He didn't mean to adopt dogs. Not then. Not in Laos. Not after 10 years of living in Asia without pets, without any real plan to stay in one place, let alone take responsibility for 2 wild animals that look like they just crawled out of a war zone. But that's the thing about love. You never choose it when it's convenient. You choose it when it snarls at you from behind a fence with wild eyes and nothing to lose. Josh saw them in the first week he moved into his new rental in Vientiane. 2 frightened dogs huddled behind his house, nervous, timid, and somehow still full of fire. A brother and a sister. Mutts. Mixed breeds. Street dogs. No trust in humanity left. The girl was older, Lily. Golden coat with a champagne shine. She had the posture of a general and the heart of a mother. Fiercely loyal, suspicious of everything. The boy was younger, Marley, with a full white coat and a mouth always full of something, usually trouble. Cheeky, rebellious, afraid of nothing. He barked at thunder and once tried to bite a parked motorbike. The first night, Josh threw them some chicken drumsticks. They just barked back, teeth bared like wolves. He stood there in the darkness and muttered, "What the hell am I doing?" He went to bed that night, regretting everything. But the next morning, tails wagging, ears perked, and just like that, they were his. That was it. The bond was born. But it wasn't easy. They tore through the garden. Lily dug up a chili plant to bury a frog. Marley chewed every sandal Josh owned. They chased geckos like it was an Olympic sport. Lily once brought home half a monitor lizard. And then there was the Cobra. Josh came out one humid morning to find the dog circling something in the grass, growling, tails up, hackles raised. Then he saw it. A cobra, standing nearly 6 feet high, head flattened, eyes locked on the dog's. It was massive, about 6 feet tall, ancient, like it had come out of a legend. Without thinking, Josh screamed, ran forward, grabbed Marley mid-lunge, threw him into the house like a sandbag. Lily was still locked in a death stare with the snake, its body coiled and swaying. He dove again, scooped her up. She bit his arm out of panic, but he got her in. Slammed the door just as the cobra struck at the air and hissed like steam. It slithered off, slow, angry, and majestic. They didn't speak for an hour after that. Then came the chicken incident. Marley came strutting into the house with a proud grin and a live chicken in his mouth, like he'd just robbed a bank. Problem was, it wasn't his chicken. It was Mrs. Darla's from next door, and she was already yelling from the gate. Josh panicked, grabbed Marley's collar and shouted, "Drop it! Drop it!" Lily barked like she was coaching. Marley danced like it was a game. Josh finally yanked the chicken out of Marley's jaws and had to hold it above his head, running around the garden while both dogs leapt for it, and Mrs. Darla stood there screaming in Lao. Later, as they shared beers and apologies, Mrs. Darla laughed. "Your dog has too much spirit." Josh raised his glass. "Yep, they definitely get it from me." But some moments were darker. The first serious dog-on-dog fight was over food. Lily had been guarding a bowl. Marley got cocky. 1 second they were growling, the next, war. Snapping, tumbling, blood on the patio tiles. Josh screamed and got between them. Lily bit his leg that time. 8 stitches and a lot of gauze later, the vet said, "They're still wild. You're just the guy who feeds them." The second fight happened during a thunderstorm. No trigger, no warning, just chaos. Marley lunged at Lily over a toy. She didn't back down. Josh, barefoot and half asleep, had to douse them both with water, screaming, heart pounding. They collapsed, panting, sides heaving. Josh cried that night, not from the pain, but from the fear he might never get to calm them down. And once more, months later, during a hot season hike near Nong Khai, a dropped piece of sausage triggered round 3. They locked jaws. Tourists watched horrified. Josh stepped in again and got bit for a 3rd time. But each time, after the storms, came the peace. There were dogs of the past, yes, but also a bond born from survival. Josh loved them, even when they made it nearly impossible to have people over. For the first few years, having a visitor meant locking the dogs in the bedroom, loud barking and Josh yelling apologies to the chaos. But over time they softened. The growls faded. Guests were greeted with cautious sniffs instead of snarls. By the time they reached Bangkok, Josh's final home for now, they had become almost normal. He rented a small townhouse near Tong Lo with a little patch of garden and a quiet street nearby. Bangkok was noisy, chaotic, unpredictable. But the dogs? They were steady now, quieter, older, still a little wild, but wiser. They travelled the world together, Vietnam, where they ran on the beach in Da Nang. Portugal, where Marley chased goats through vineyards. Germany, where they ran through the snow and looked forward to early morning walks in the cold winter that year. Now Bangkok. They had stomach issues, cysts. Marley had tumours removed. Lily's hips had gone stiff. Luckily, Josh is good friends with the local vet, who has done amazing things to keep them both in good health, and he is forever grateful for that. He often thinks to himself about how lucky he is to have such a dear friend, knowing he'll be there to help the dogs until the bitter end. And still, they were here. Through all of it, through every broken shoe, every hospital visit, every destroyed cushion, and every 3 a.m. barking fit at invisible ghosts, they'd never left his side. And Josh? He'd never left theirs. He looks at them some mornings, Lily curled up like a lioness, Marley chewing something he probably shouldn't be, and thinks, they weren't rescue dogs. I was the one who got rescued. They're still here, still wild, still loyal, still messy and full of love. And even though they're older now, slower, quieter, they're his family, no less than blood. He takes peace in knowing he cared, but he takes more pride in knowing they actually saved his life in many ways. The loneliness and dark times Josh often went through, the divorce, the drama of court cases and failed relationships. But the dogs were always there, never judging, never running away. The dogs that saved his life. Lily and Marley. So wherever you are, maybe you've got a Lily, maybe you've got a Marley, or maybe love is still snarling behind the gate, waiting for the right fool to throw a chicken drumstick and open their heart. Because sometimes you don't just adopt dogs, sometimes you survive each other. And if you're lucky, you grow into the kind of love that doesn't give up. Ever.